No one is coming to save you. Not your friends, not your parents, not even God if you're not moving. The truth is, no one's going to knock on your door and say, "Hey, I heard you've been down. Let me fix your life for you." It's not happening. The life you want. It's not sitting out there waiting. It's buried beneath every failure, every bad decision, every excuse you've told yourself, and you're the only one who can dig it out. I don't care where you're sitting right now, in your room in a car, or walking through the noise of a city you feel lost in. You're still breathing. And as long as you're breathing, you're not done. The pain you carry, it's not your prison. It's your training ground. It's shaping a man the world forgot you could be. And if you've ever said, "Maybe I'm too far gone," I want you to hear this. You're not. What you've been through, that's not the end of your story. It's just the first chapter of your comeback. So if you're listening to this right now, it means something in you still believes, even if it's just a whisper, even if it's just enough to press play. Let's build that belief. Let's turn that whisper into a war cry. Because this is not a motivational video. This is a wake-up call. And before we keep going, I want to ask you something real. Where are you watching this from? What city are you in? Drop a comment below. I want to know where the warriors are rising. Let's build this army, one city, one man, one fight at a time. You didn't think it would hit this hard. You thought maybe it would hurt, but not break you. But then it did. The job you lost, the relationship that shattered, the moments you didn't speak up when you should have, the nights you stared at the ceiling wondering how the hell it got to this point. That is rock bottom, and it is lonely as hell. People say, keep your head up, but they don't see the weight you're carrying. They don't see how heavy it gets when every part of your identity starts to feel like it is crumbling. You used to walk into a room with confidence. Now you hesitate to make eye contact. You used to talk about goals. Now you just try to make it through the day. But listen to me. You being here watching this means you're not broken beyond repair. Because rock bottom is not the end. It is the foundation. It is the cold, hard truth slapping you awake, saying this version of you cannot go where you're meant to go. And I know the shame is loud. The regret is sharp. You replay every mistake like a highlight reel in your head, thinking, if only I had done this differently. But let me flip that for you. What if this is exactly what needed to happen? What if you're being stripped of everything? Fake, every illusion, every lie you believed, so you can rebuild with something real. Because here's the deal. No great man has ever risen without falling first. Not one. You want strength. You earn it. Here in the dirt. You want clarity. It comes when the noise fades and all you hear is your own voice asking, what now? You're not the only one who has felt this. I have been there too. Woke up wondering if anything I did mattered. Felt like a ghost in my own life. But I made a choice to stop waiting for rescue and start becoming the man I needed. And now it is your turn. This is the part where most people stay down, but not you. Because the man who hits the ground and refuses to stay there, that is the man the world never forgets. Let me tell you something they won't teach you in school or post on your feed. Motivation is a liar. It shows up when it wants to disappear when you need it most and tricks you into thinking you have to feel good to take action. But discipline shows up whether you feel ready or not. Discipline doesn't care if you are tired, broke, angry, or doubting yourself. Discipline moves anyway. You think the successful guys wake up inspired every morning. They don't. They wake up with a plan. They wake up with standards. They wake up knowing that yesterday's excuses won't build today's results. So if you are trying to rebuild your life, you need to stop waiting for inspiration. You need to stop saying, when I feel better, I'll start. No. You start now, while it hurts, while it's dark, while everything in you says, wait. You want to change. Wake up on time. Make your bed. Go to the gym. Eat real food. Keep the promises you make to yourself. Sounds simple, right? But the truth is, most men won't do it. Not because they can't, but because they never train their mind to fight back against the voice that whispers, just skip it. You are not most men. You are in the process of rebuilding. And every single action, no matter how small, is another brick in your new foundation. Write that blog post. Turn off the phone and read something real. Sit in silence and plan your next week with intention. Do it even if no one claps. Do it especially when no one claps. This is how you build momentum. Not through lightning bolts of motivation, but through repetition. Through choosing to win small battles every day. And I promise you this, if you show up long enough without applause, eventually the world will notice. But by then, you won't need the applause, because you will know who you are. A man who rebuilt from scratch. A man who stayed standing when everything else fell. Remember this: discipline wins when emotions quit. Discipline wins when no one is watching. Discipline is what makes the man. They looked at you like you were done, like the fall broke you, like your silence meant surrender. They passed you on the street with that look, the one that says, I knew he wouldn't make it. They don't say it out loud, but you feel it. The dismissal, the judgment, the quiet pity. But they're wrong. They think because you've been quiet, you've been defeated. What they don't know is that quiet doesn't mean quitting. It means you've been building in silence, sharpening, hardening, becoming. Let them believe you're finished. Let them laugh, look away, forget your name. That's the best thing they can do, give you space to evolve without their noise. You don't need to explain. You don't need to post about your progress. You need to show up every day. When no one's looking, when it's just you, the work, and the fire that hasn't gone out. Because this is not about revenge, it's about resurrection. You've seen what life looks like when you quit. You've tasted what it feels like to give up on yourself. You've had nights where your only company was shame, and still, you're here. Still breathing, still trying, still standing. Do you know how rare that is? Most people break and never come back. They stay down, blame the world, become hollow versions of who they once dreamed of being, but not you. You are choosing to fight again. You are choosing to walk back into the same world that watched you fall, not to prove anything to them, but to prove something to yourself. You don't need their permission. You don't need their approval, because warriors don't ask to be accepted. They come back to the battlefield with fire in their eyes and blood on their knuckles, and they say, I'm not done yet. Every early morning you drag yourself up when your mind says sleep. Every workout you do with a broken heart and sore body. Every time you say no to temptation and yes to the hard path, that's a war won. You want peace. Win your war first. You want respect. Give it to yourself first. You want the life they said you couldn't have. Build it while they watch. They don't need to understand your grind. They don't need to support your vision. They just need to watch from a distance when the man they thought was finished walks past them, stronger, quieter, more dangerous than ever. That's what silence does. It sharpens your edge. And one day they'll look again, and they won't recognize the man standing in front of them, because the man they buried is not the man rising. This version of you, forged in fire, sculpted in discipline, armed with scars, is untouchable. And let me be clear. This doesn't mean life gets easier. No, it means you get tougher. It means you stop folding every time pressure hits. It means you stop shrinking just to make others feel comfortable. You're not made for comfort. You're made for conquest. You were built to endure, to carry, to lead, to rise, and that starts now. Be that guy. The one who didn't stay down. The one they whispered about. the one they couldn't break. Every day you rise, the enemy loses. Every step you take forward, the past fades. Every time you push through the pain, the future opens. You're not here to survive. You're here to conquer. And if the world has forgotten who you are, good, let them. Because when you return, you won't need an introduction. So let's be clear. You fell, you broke, you disappeared. You went through nights you don't talk about. You had mornings where getting out of bed felt like a war. And yet you're still here, not just breathing, not just existing, but rebuilding. You stopped chasing motivation like a drug and started building discipline like a legacy. You stopped needing applause to do the work. You stopped performing and you started becoming. This journey is not for the weak. It is not for the ones looking for easy. It is not for the ones who want comfort over calling. This is for the ones who got hit and got back up. For the ones who buried a version of themselves that no longer served them. For the ones who decided they would not let their pain be their ending. Because every great man you admire, every story that ever moved you, every legend that made your blood rise, they all had one thing in common. They chose to rise after the fall. And now it's your turn. It doesn't matter what they think. It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter how many times you failed. What matters is what you choose now. In this moment, when no one is watching, when it's just you, your will, and the question, who do I want to become before I die? Because that's what it really comes down to. Not success, not fame, not being liked, but becoming the man you respect when you look in the mirror. A man of courage, a man of honor, a man of discipline, a man who doesn't flinch when life hits hard. And if you're not that man, yet good, that means you still have time. That means the fight is still on. That means today is not your end, it's your rebirth. So take the shame, the doubt, the failure, and forge something with it. Don't run from it. Refine it, reclaim it, rise with it. Because you are not broken. You are being rebuilt. You are not lost. You are being led to something deeper. You are not too late. You are right on time. Right now, there is a family waiting to see you stand up. There are people watching from a distance, hoping you make it so they'll believe they can too. There is a version of you that already exists, stronger, wiser, more dangerous, waiting for you to become him. So become him. Be that guy. The one who didn't stay down. The one who walked through fire and came out forged. The one who showed others that pain doesn't have to mean paralysis. The one who made his life mean something, not by chance, not by luck, but by choice, by action, by grit. So whatever you've been through, use it. Whatever you've lost, learn from it. Whatever you want, fight for it. And when the noise fades and the world gets quiet again, and you're left alone with that man in the mirror, nod to him, because he didn't give up. He rebuilt, he rose, and he walked out ready for war. This is your time, this is your life. Make it count. So now, what? The video ends, the music fades, the voice stops. But your story doesn't. This right now is where the real work begins, not when you're watching, not when you're hyped, but when the screen goes dark and it's just you, your choices, and the day ahead. And the truth is, most people will forget this video in an hour. They'll go back to scrolling, to sleeping on themselves, to avoiding the hard work, but not you, because you didn't watch this by accident. You were pulled here for a reason. Something in you is still alive, still fighting, still hungry for more. So here's what you do next. Don't try to change your life overnight. Start with one decision, one habit, one promise. Wake up when you said you would. Train when it hurts. Write the thing you've been putting off. Face one fear, just one, and keep doing it. Stack those small wins until they become your new identity. This is how warriors are built, not in big moments, but in small choices repeated with discipline. And when the days get heavy, because they will, when your old life calls you back, because it will, when your mind says it's not worth it, remember this. You've already been through hell. You've already lost things most people would never survive. So why stop now? You are not rebuilding for applause. You are rebuilding because you refuse to die as someone you no longer respect. And listen, you are not alone. There are others out there like you. Men who are tired of excuses. Men who are ready to stand. Men who are ready to become what the world forgot they could be. Find them, walk with them, or lead them. But never, ever go back to being who you were. Because now you know the truth. You are the rescue team. You are the battle plan. You are the man. And this is your war. Fight it, win it, live it.